When I looked into the field, I wanted to learn more about the research on crowdsourcing at the moment at an early stage. And I found that there is no regular conference out there. So I thought, why not start it myself? And so I did this last year. And this year, the Crowdworking Symposium was for the first time hosted in Bielefeld. And my great thanks go to Martin Schneider and Nicole Girard, who hosted the conference this year. So we are currently interested in mostly two research questions on crowdworking. One is data privacy and crowdsourcing in general. And we believe this is important because there are differences in the types of actors that are involved in a crowdsourcing platform. And they all have various data needs and needs for data protection. So think about, for instance, the website users, crowd workers, the crowdsourcers posting the projects, and they have also different needs in terms of data protection. So far little is known about data protection in crowdworking, and this is why we are interested in learning more about it. So the second thing we are interested in is data portability in crowdworking and crowdsourcing, because there has been a lot of regulation at the moment that your data can be transferred from one platform to another. And actually the GDPR also has a section stating that that should be actually possible. But what we see in practice, this is barely possible. And we are experimentally investigating why that is the case. So we are currently just at the start of this research project where we compare data privacy policies in the US, China, and Germany. But what we can say is that China, for example, has by far the largest and longest privacy statements in comparison to the US and Germany. The US actually has the shortest privacy statements. But clearly, this is not only a matter of the extent of a privacy statement, but also of the context. What we're seeing is that the US is somewhat ahead in terms of the content. And to give you a brief example, in Germany and in China, the data privacy that they give examples of what data is processed, and they never provide a complete list of the data that is processed. In the US, by contrast, you also see that they're stating explicitly which data is not processed. So for instance, they are saying your gender is not processed, and you can be sure that that is not the case. Finally, we also looked at the GDPR, changed privacy statements, and so far we see that statements became longer, but they are not becoming necessarily better. So what I really appreciate about the symposium is that you see research at an early stage. So you see what will come out in terms of publications in the next 2 to 3 years. And now you actually see how you can shape and in which direction your own research should go. And you learn also from many different disciplines, which is interesting because computer scientists, sociologists, and economists sometimes have very similar questions, but they come to very different conclusions because they also take different methods. And so it's interesting to see what these other disciplines are doing.